Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's Tuesday, November 19th. It's cold and drizzly out, and this might not be the best of ideas, but I came out to check on the beehive, and I had a bunch of bees the other day on the landing board, and took them off, and I noticed today, because we've had some pretty cold temperatures, the bees are active and they're doing some housekeeping. I put the mouse guard there, and they're able to get some bees out of the entrance. So they are active, but the reason I'm out here is I'm a little concerned that, because I don't see bees coming out of the top there, and if you recall, I made a candy board and have that underneath the the Vivaldi board is on top of the candy board, and the Vivaldi board has an entrance on the bottom of it, and the candy, I put some holes through the candy and to the screen, and then poke some holes on the newspaper that's underneath. But I'm thinking the gap might be too big underneath the candy for them to jump up and have interest in the candy above, because I would think that they would be coming out of this entrance. And I just looked real quick, the hole that I wish I had put, I don't know if it matters, a hole in the candy near the front of the opening there for ventilation, but I think there's enough ventilation coming through the I made a hole on the side where the cluster is on the right here, facing the front of the hive, and one in the center. But I don't see, I was hoping to see, if we can take a look here, I was hoping to see bees on the candy, which I don't see. And there's one dead bee there. So unless they've come through, so I'm contemplating taking a quick look. I've got the drill out because I put a screw, there's more activity even now, to hold this plastic up. It was cold and windy, so there wasn't any activity, so I had this over the opening. But Thursday is supposed to be 54, so 10 degrees colder, warmer. And I was thinking of doing oxalic acid treatment, but the one that I have is that little, we want to call it a little heater, a little pot, or pan you have to stick into the hive through the front entrance on the bottom board, so you have to take out the reducer. And I noticed, I was watching Vino Farms, and there's a new one, Johnny's Vapo or something like that, which is a little, they're coming down in price too, so it's a little bowl with the heating element around it and has a copper pipe. And it's one of the ones where you can measure your oxalic acid, put it in a little cup, and Teflon cup, and then you tip it upside down, and you drill a hole, like an 1/8 inch hole or something like that, a 1/4 inch hole in the box, and then when you tip it over, the vapor goes in, so you don't have to actually mess with the entrance reducer, especially if it's already been glued in place by the bees. So it seems like it's less it's less agitation to the bees this late in the season. I never thought of doing oxalic acid late in the season. I didn't think you did it in the wintertime, but I'm watching these videos and people are doing oxalic acid treatment. I would imagine there's not much of a cluster on Thursday if it's going to be 54 and sunny. So I think I'm just going to take a look right now. I'll take the Vivaldi board off. I'll have to take the cozy off too, just the top screw there, so I can lift it up off of the hive. But yeah, maybe I'll wait to do an oxalic acid treatment. I had the Apivar strips on for like, what was the max you could have them on, like 5 weeks or something. And I took them off, I think, in September maybe. So, yeah, let me go ahead. I've just, I forgot I had this candy that I had made. It was sitting in the kitchen in between some paper plates. So if I can just, then I have to take off the candy board too, which I've taped these two boards together. I don't want to disturb them. That's the one thing about that newer oxalic. That's the word I was thinking of. I couldn't think of it. Disturbing the bees. Less disturbing the bees. So I would imagine that I'd have to pick up the bottom board and try to really get that entrance reducer, which is probably propylized in place, off, which would agitate the bees. So yeah, let me take a quick look to see if, I mean, they could be, on the right-hand side, they could be on the sugar. I'll be able to see the cluster at least through the hole in the sugar board that I made. Well, I see the cluster, and I can't tell if that paper looks like it's been chewed at all, but they're right there. They're on the, I don't think you can see it. Let's get closer. Oh, there's a bee right there. So let's take a look. They're coming out now. So they're right on the screen. So they're right on the screen. And I can't tell if any of that sugar has been eaten or not. So I wonder if I should take any of that paper away. So I can actually feel the warmth there. So I hope, I wonder if I should put, this is hard as a rock. I mean, I was hoping that they would be right here. Maybe I should put something over this. So, what's that bee thinking when he comes out? There's another one. Maybe I should put a little piece of burlap over that. And then they would maybe venture up into that cavity. I think that's what I'll do. So I went to get the burlap, and I noticed there's a bee right there with a big chunk of sugar. I don't know if you see it. He just brought it in. She just brought it in. So, that was interesting. I mean, big chunk, about the size of her head. So that's interesting. Hopefully she'll go in and communicate where that is. So here's a little piece of burlap, and I'm wondering if I should then remove more of this paper without getting stung. Yeah, I mean, they're able to, obviously, you can see the space there, so could be that. Some more of the sugar in there. I wonder what they'll do. I wonder if I should get some lemon extract. So you can see there is quite a gap there. They're going right after the sugar. So they are interested in it. If I put a piece of string there for them to crawl up. There is a very good possibility that they have bridged the gap underneath the candy and are feeding from it from underneath. So I think I will though put, because this will still be able to breathe, I'll put a piece of burlap right here. Maybe that will convince them that that pocket, or make that pocket a little bit more attractive. Yeah, there's a bee right there. So yeah, we'll see Thursday whether I decide to do an oxalic acid, but right now, at least they're doing some house cleaning. So let me put this back on. And where'd all these bees come from? I didn't notice these bees before. Some dead bees here. Alright, so I just opened that up and the bees are going after the sugar that has fallen in. And like I said, I have this hole here underneath the Vivaldi board. So hopefully that'll encourage them to realize that there's an exit here on the top. And I'm a little concerned that the newspaper was damp underneath the sugar board here. I don't know if I maybe put too much moisture into the sugar, but hopefully this will help dry that out, give some more ventilation. Alright everyone, I decided to go ahead and take out the front entrance reducer. It's pretty easy. I just used a crowbar to lift up the front of the hive body and was able to get the entrance reducer out. Here's the oxalic acid vaporizer that I have. So I'm just going to go ahead and give them a treatment. It's 1 gram. I forget how long this takes. It's about 5 minutes, I think, overall. So slide this in. And let's get this hooked up to the battery, which I charged the other day. And close up the front. And there's no breeze today. So let's see if I can, maybe I should take this off a little bit. I have to hurry up because my battery is not holding a charge. I just had to charge it up real quick. So hopefully we'll see some vapor coming out. I don't have a mask on or anything, so I'll step away. I should have brought a watch out. So you know, another thing I was thinking of doing is I have a small plant heat mat, and I was wondering if you slide that in underneath on the bottom board. And I don't think the thermostat is weatherproof though. Maybe put it inside underneath the top cover. I was wondering if that would be an option to get them through cold winter. But, oh, there's the vapor. I don't know if you can see that. So I see vapor coming out. And I forget how long that would take after initial vaporization. I'll have to count. So let me turn this off because I can't waste the battery. Oh, you can see the vapor coming. Where did all these bees come from? Oh, evidently I didn't seal it enough. It's really coming out now, so I'll wait till it stops. Okay, I think it's about 1:30 for all that oxalic acid. So let me take the hot plate out now. They sure are roaring. Yep, all the oxalic acid is gone. Now another thing is you put that hot plate in the hive, so you're putting heat underneath them. With the other one, you just the smoke vaporizes and goes into the hive from the hole you drill on the outside of the box, so it's less intrusive. So maybe I'll order that other one. But sounds like I have a lot of bees. I didn't really gauge. Had a good gauge of how many bees I had, and sounds like a lot. So let me shake this off. Hope they're not stinging this. So let's see if I can get some of the dead bees off the bottom board here. Alright, the battery died, so I gave it another 15-minute charge. Finish this up. I've got the hive all closed up again. And I put these screws in, these 3-inch screws, to keep this cozy down from the entrance. And then over here, I opened it up some more because the holes on the mouse guard really weren't falling in a good enough spot to allow the bees to remove the dead bees. So I can always, I don't know, it's pretty protected with the cozy. And got another screw here, keep that from falling down. And so I opened it up, and then you leave, you turn the entrance reducer over so there's wood on the bottom board, facing the bottom board. So if you have a layer of bees on the bottom, it's not going to block the entrance or exit for the bees. And they're doing some cleansing flights also today, even though it's damp and drizzly. So This is New England Gardening. Did the oxalic acid. I think they've have more access to the candy board and got everything accomplished. So maybe Thursday take a look real quick, see the activity. And so I'm confident there's enough stores in there now. If there's enough bees, hopefully they'll survive through the winter. This is November, still kind of mild right now, even though we did have some cold temperatures early November. So this is New England Gardening. As of November 19th, I still have bees. Thanks for watching.